Hey Zed, this is Vitek here from India. How are you doing?
I'm great. I couldn't be any better. Ready to go out and kick the world's ass for blood in and blood out.
That's absolutely true. The 10th splatter of Exodus Blood in Blood Out. You guys have been getting some amazing response from the fans. So, how's the band feeling right now?
I think it's great. It seems like almost ironic that it's been 30 years since Blood in My Blood came out, and it seems like that same kind of resurgence and excitement and buzz about the band is apparent again. And we're really excited and very thankful for all the fans, especially, all over the world that have supported us forever. They've been very loyal, and we feel that we've always delivered the music that they love. Even there's times when I wasn't in the band and a few members maybe going in and out, but still, Exodus has always held the level of violence and intensity that they've always been about from the beginning. And I believe Blood In, Blood Out is definitely a good example of what the band has done over the last 30 years. We follow definitely.
Absolutely. Now, like you said, 30 years. I mean, you guys are ageless. You guys are not slowing down. And it basically proves that, it's a testament to the band's authenticity and drive.
Well, I mean, honestly, we're all, and I think that goes for heavy metal fans in general. We all are very passionate about our music, and those of us that have played it on the level and are considered innovators of a certain type of sound, because we were there in the beginning of thrash metal,
Right.
in the mid '80s, early '80s, and so to be able to still carry the torch and be able to do it, it's not just like, going through the motions, or it's just a job to us. I mean, this is what we live for. We love this. This is what flows through our veins. We would never not do this. In fact, I was on the phone the other day with actually Joey Jordison from Stars of Martyr, who's the drummer for Slipknot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we were talking about that. It's like, we will always do this. I have another project with my kid, Patriot. I've done with Death Patrol, Tenet. I've done other things. It's what's in my blood. It's what I do. It's what I love. And I think that this lineup, especially of Exodus, is very classic, also very meaningful.
True.
Every player is very well honed in on their craft, very much so. And I feel that the record, the songs, and the performances all exemplify a very seasoned veteran band that still has not slowed down.
Indeed, absolutely true. Now, what concerned me about this album was how things have happened, in such a short period of time. I mean, you joining Exodus and then, Gary being busy with Slayer. So I was just wondering how the end product is going to sound. But then when I heard the first single, Solve the Wound, and that just kind of blew my mind, I'm like, Zetro is back, and this is what Exodus is all about.
Right, right. Well, I feel that, I've been with the band since, not even, continually in the band. I've done tours of duty, I call them, since I was 21 years old with them. I know them, I know them growing up as kids. I know their wives and their ex-wives. I know their little babies that are now, young adults.
Right.
So it's like, I know these guys. I know them. It's not like jumping into something with this music, I had to figure out the comments, how do they work. I know how they work. So I knew, and that when I got the music, especially, I felt the same way you did. When I first heard the music, I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
The distractions of him being Slayer and all the time, it's like, this stuff is great. I mean, to me, if not the best shit I've ever heard. I was really surprised with it, so I was very excited to sing on it. So I just basically crammed like a college student.
Right.
Study them over. All I did was study the music because I didn't really have a lot of time. The world knew that I joined Exodus June 6th. I started June 9th putting my vocal tracks on the album. So I didn't really have a lot of time to screw around. So I just studied hard. I made it the first thing that I did, just that's all I concentrate on. But again, I've been singing for 30 years. I feel like I was sitting on the couch with a beer and somebody knocked on the door and said, hey, you want to come do this again? I was like, yeah, let me see if I can do it. You know what I mean? I was honed in. My voice is like on point right now. I feel stronger than I've ever sung vocally ever. That goes live and on the albums. I'm really strong right now. I take very good care of myself. And so I think it's the best it's ever been. And again, knowing what I know about myself, I don't go out my limits. I do what I do.
Right.
You know, and I don't try to try something or go, oh my God, did you hear that part? That's what I'm trying to sing, or, you know, I'm not trying to do something that I'm not about. I do it, and I know what I do it, and I know how to do it. And I just stay in that line, and I think I've been okay that way. And I just try to bring it. I bring intensity and heaviness every time. I bring it every time.
Absolutely. Now, I heard that you were given a song for audition, or let's say you were given a song to sing. Which track was that from Blood In, Blood Out?
I got two tracks. I had to sing Black 13 and BTK.
Wow.
I received the songs on a Wednesday night at 10:30. I had to sing them both the next day at 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's really cool.
I mean, at 10:30 at night, the day was shot there. I think I stayed up till 3, went to bed for 4 hours, got up at 7, and then learned them all day, and then I went at 5, and that was my audition songs. Of course, I came back in when we did the record, and we recorded those two songs. My initial audition were those two songs. I said that, I go, when do you want me to do this? And like, tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow? I haven't even heard them yet.
Right.
You know, it's like, yeah, well, that's part of the trick here. There's a catch, you know what I mean? We want to see what catch got you catch. Do it? Give me that. I could be kidding me out.
Right.
I felt really comfortable with it. I knew it after a while. I felt they gave it a really good performance, and I believe that's why I'm here now.
Absolutely. Now, while listening to your vocals, I mean, it really feels so great to see how the catchiness of your vocal work you've basically upped that, and there are plenty of parts to scream and sing along. So that was somewhat missing from Exodus. As a fan of Exodus, that was kind of missing, and I was like, there has to be something who has to take that, thing and make sure it works. And then with the riffs, Gary and the Lee writes, and then your vocals and that just made it like perfect.
I think when because again, I've been doing this now for over 30 years, so I know the job, and with no disrespect to Rob, I think Exodus was the first band that we sang in after I left, which was really only 9 years ago. So kind of to get thrown into a band with legendary status and the magnitude of that band, those are a lot of things that are expected, especially my stage presence is legendary as far as the way I talk to the crowd, my personality with them, the way I go. So I think that, that's what you're used to.
True.
So, because that's when you're building the band, that's what you hear initially. And that's the guy, that's when they got built, when they got popular, that was the guy that was there, So you always take to the original. It's always been that way. That's with anybody, any band, anybody's ever. If the originals all got together, they love it for whatever reason. Maybe later players are better, but it just doesn't matter. And I think the case with my voice and the band, it's because of that. I know what you're talking about when the scream, the hills, the valleys,
right.
It comes to me automatically. I don't even think about it. I'm such a fan of the music. I know exactly what to do to it, and so I really don't get much direction. I go in there myself and do it. If you've heard the two albums I have with my son, Patriot, I do all the vocals myself.
True.
Everything. I go in there and so I really know the idea. It's called Hills and Valleys. You got to make it interesting. So it sounds like one thing through the whole song would get bored. It's got to be exciting. You got to know where to go and where to get the character in your voice. It's such a singing. It's a performance. It's being a person. It's an attitude. It's a charisma. It's a lot of different things that go into that. And I didn't understand that in the beginning. My first 10 years of singing, it was like, get on the bike, hit the throttle, and go. Whatever.
Right.
And, well, I can do this better. I can refine this. I can think of the mechanics of it all. And when I do good, and not go beyond. And I feel that people show character, and I've always thought that's the key. You may not be, look at David Lee Roth. He was not the greatest singer in the world. That guy's got more charisma and character. You just love him to day. Regardless if you see him live, man, you really see songs that good, but fucking man, they were great, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's what carries it. I think there's a bit of that element as well.
That's absolutely true. Now, the best thing about Zetro is how he considers fans as part of the family. So we've seen it happening with everything that's, once he joined the band and the incidents which took place and how you kept interacting with the fans. And that's something which was missing from Exodus. As a fan, I'm telling you this. Would you agree with that?
Well, fan jokes. They go, Zetro, you should run for office. And we kiss babies and shake hands. Great. I joke with them. I think that's right. Like, November, like, I said, what's your baby? Let me kiss your baby. I'm running for office. Vote for me. You know, I kind of joke. This is my thing.
Right.
How great was it when I was 15 years old? If the singer for my fucking favorite band came out and said, what's up, guys? You guys want to take a picture? Sign autograph? Are you shitting me? That's great. So why not? Our fans who love it so much, especially, I have no problem with them. I treat them all with respect. I keep every last picture and sign every last autograph at the hotels, at the airports, wherever, whatever.
Anywhere.
I never bothered. I buy them. It's part of my job. I don't feel, oh, not right now. I'm busy. I'm busy. You're not busy. If you want this life, you chose to have this life.
True.
That attitude is not acceptable. These are the people that have put your records, buy your albums, come and buy your t-shirts, buy your concert tickets, keep you going. And I have for 30 years. How many bands can fucking say that? In other forms of music even as well. You know, you can't. And so that's why I owe it to them. I owe them the smile. I owe them the hug. I owe them the signature. I owe them the selfie. I owe them that in my eyes. You know what I mean? If I go out in public and I'm at a heavy metal show and people see me, of course, that's what can I take a picture? Of course we can take a picture.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to make your experience with me, you know, unenjoyable. You know, that you're an album, you know, you're going to buy my records for everything. Come to my shows if you feel that connection with me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Besides, I'm a fan too. Like, it's great. They make part of it. They make it all happen, and I appreciate it. That's why you look at Peter. You see, millions. I just probably took 10,000 pictures in South America.
Right.
Did that tour for 3 weeks, and I mean, I hung out with everybody. And one night in Rio, I just walked out in the crowd because they were all waiting for us, and they could see us. I'm like, don't stop this. I grabbed the guard and come with me. Tell these guys in Spanish not to crowd me, not to touch me, and I would take every picture and sign every last autograph. I went up there, there's probably 150, 160 people left. I told him he did that, he stood there. It took me about an hour. I signed every last thing, and took every last picture. Everybody's satisfied. Great.
That's super cool.
Never do that before.
Absolutely.
Walk out, the headliner, come out 10 minutes after he's out of stage. Walk out and say, okay, guys, you guys want to sign autographs and take pictures with every single last fucking one of you. You've never seen that before.
Absolutely.
There's 10,000 people here tonight. I was like, well, I'm different. I'm a big fan. I think it's cool. I get it. I'm not trying to pump my ego. I could fucking care less about any of that bullshit. I just want, you know, I want their experience with Exodus to be full. They came in here, had a great time tonight. We kicked their ass. They buy a shirt. They fucking go buy the record, and then they get to hang out with the singer. How great is that? Next time they come around, they're not going to do the same fucking thing. Of course they are. Of course they're going to talk to your friends. You should try to do this kind of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm in business too. You know, I got to do this. It's part of our business, you know. Public relations is the greatest thing. You know, it's something that rock and roll's always had this dark corner, this black door. So you don't know what goes beyond that side door. And I want to open the door and say, oh yeah, fuck that, I'm going on here.
True.
Yeah.
True. Absolutely.
That's why I have it. That's why when I talk to you, I'm not doing an interview, I'm talking to a metal fan about metal.
Absolutely true, Zetro. Now that's the reason why we have almost 200% sales on the new album, almost touching 9,000 copies as compared to the previous one. So that clearly shows why fans clearly meant to be part of this family, and now you guys been treating them that way even makes it better.
Well, I think that also they're relieved that maybe their heroes who had a rift or had a problem with each other can make it out, work it out, and get along. And it shows that everybody can go and do this again. Eddie and Gary hated each other for years. Ozzy and Tony, those guys didn't talk for years. It's just everybody has their problem, whatever that goes on in one life, and it's great. But everybody, look, we're older now, we're adults, we're mature, and
right.
The shit that happened in the past is the past. And can we still do this? Yes. It's still got fucking, gasoline in the tank, sure it does. Let's do this thing. Let's take this by the ball and take it and do this and do it at the best level we can do it, at the best to all our ability, clean, ready to go, ready to rock, and ready to kill. That's the mentality now, and it's the best way to go. And I think with all of that, when you put that in ball, it all goes hand in hand. It's very successful. And I think that we're seeing it already. We're seeing the fans respond, and I think they're very pleased with how how it's going these days in the Exodus camp, I must say.
That's absolutely true. Now, as a fan, and basically as an Exodus fan, I mean, it kind of makes me feel that, you guys get less recognition and respect than you guys deserve. And I hope with Blood and Blood Out, this changes it all for you guys.
It could. I don't look at that like that. I get asked all the time, why are we not considered the Big Four? I don't, even the Big Four to me, and I said it in the front, Metallica is the biggest band on the world. The other three bands, and I love them, and I believe I respect everyone, and they know that they're not at the magnitude of Metallica's success. So to say that, I think, is explained by, in the initial run of these bands in the mid-80s to early 90s, the four probably bands who sold the most records and were probably the most recognized were those four bands. Regardless of where it started and who did it first. Now, and did the Ramones sell as many records as Green Day? No. You know what I mean? Did they get fame? Did they get recognition? No. Green Day learned off them, right? They became huge, multi-selling millionaires, and they're not. You know?
Right.
Sometimes the innovators don't always get, they're just deserved. But the fans know. The fans know what's going on. That's why it doesn't matter. And they're coming in droves. And because of my return, I believe that they really, really welcomed it, my return. And then my contrition with what had happened with the band in the past. And it was a lot of my fault. I carried myself in the wrong manner. I'm here to see the fans. Can't wait to see them. And I'm out with Nick and I'm hanging out with them. And that buzz is going around.
Right.
They're excited for that. And I'm very excited for them as well. It's like I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never felt more excited than I do now.
I totally understand that.
That's how, yeah.
Absolutely. Now with your buddy and partner in crime, Chuck Billy, being part of BTK as well. So how's it, I've heard you guys on Dublin Death Patrol and I just wish to hear some more material from you.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Chuck and I are so busy and he actually manages that kind of now too with Johnny Z and Maria. So Chuck's done a lot of things. I just talked to him about an hour ago. He's on his way to Eric, so they're writing the testament. So between what I do with Hatred and part of them, or in Exodus, and what he's doing, we have no time for Double Death Patrol. But that's a no-brainer. When Chuck comes in and does all the vocal tracks that I did for the Exodus record, Chuck is cutting there.
Right.
Gary's usually there. Gary was our tourist player in Europe, and I can trust Chuck. Chuck and I can bounce off each other. Now do it like this. Oh, that was fluffy. It's like, how's that, John? Oh, that was killing that, but I know it's good.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was really comfortable. And then the plans were, we do it again on BTK, and we did that in like 5 minutes. It was really easy. We had worked together so much, even with legacy stuff in Testament. That's why it was so easy.
Absolutely. Now, Gary has been some sort of a victim to the backlash for some reasons. People calling him that he writes long songs, he doesn't know anything about thrash metal. But when we talk about Gary and his skills, this guy is still having that kind of a pull and that kind of an importance in the metal community.
Did anybody ever like everything? No. Never like everything. Never. You're not going to make everybody happy. There's people that wanted Rob in the band. You know what I mean? We don't pay attention to what people think or say. When you're at this level of where we're at after 30 years, we tell them I don't care what anybody thinks. Obviously, if I've been this successful, been able to do the project that I've done all through albums and still be relevant, I don't need what people say. I don't. It's a joke to me. It's not even. It's not relevant. Gary is by far the real deal. Jeff Hammond picked him personally to play Slayer with Jeff when he couldn't play it.
Right.
You talk to Scott Ian, you talk to Kirk Hammond, you talk to James Hetfield, you talk to any of the heavy hitters in heavy metal, they'll tell you Gary Holt is the real deal. Lead-wise, rhythm-wise, and writing-wise, every single one of them. So to read that type of stuff, it's a preference. People are going to have preferences of things.
True.
That's just the way it is. Now there's a forum everywhere for you to voice your opinion for. And so there was never before. So I've always been under the impression that you do not. I don't need it. I don't really have to pay attention to it. I've been so lucky to be relevant in heavy metal for 30 years with all the projects that I do, with all the people that I know that are in the industry, the people that are in bigger bands than mine, and I play with them, and they go, dude, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be playing. So I
Right.
do that to respect, and it's the truth, you know, and I do, and that's what matters to me. When I talk to the fans, and I do, you know that, we all know that, I know what they're thinking, I know what they're saying, and I'm down with them, and they get it, because I'm as big a fan as they are.
True. I completely agree with that. Now, with this album, then you guys begin the tour as well. So I'm just wondering when I'm gonna expect Exodus to travel India. I mean, you guys have no idea the fan following you have over here.
Yeah, and I answered a question about that the other day. We would love to go there. There's a lot of places that we would love to go to, you know, that are outside the box. And unfortunately, there's a band of our level. It's not feasible financially. You got to be like Iron Maiden to get to India. You got to be able to do stuff to go out of the way and do that. Now, I'm not saying that we won't have the leverage to do that. We might be able to this time, but there are a lot of places that the band has never played, or maybe played one time, that would like to go back and do this. So it's just hopefully that the magnitude of this album cycle, you know, myself returning, you know, the songs being great, just everything working in our order, that we will be able to reach out to more places. Other than Europe, Europe, you can just tour really well. The States, you can tour really easily.
Right.
You know, in South America and stuff too. You know, it all connects together, so it makes it feasible to do, and time-wise as well. So, and then also, one of our guys plays in 2 thrash metal bands, so that also plays a factor into what we're doing as well.
True. I completely agree with that. Now, Zet, I had a great time with you. So before I end the interview, let me ask you one simple question to define Blood In, Blood Out in just one sentence.
Straight up aggressive and in your fucking face. Go get it, little face will melt.
Brilliant. We've been pretty much, excited to have a chat with you. So my team specifically designed an Exodus t-shirt for you and the other guys. So as a fan towards this part of the world, we would like you to check that t-shirt out and then just place an order, and we will be delivering it to you guys as soon as possible.
Okay, who do I speak to about that?
What you got to do is you got to log into the website called mosherclothing.com.
How do you spell Marshall? Is it Marshall or Mosher?
Mosher, M-O-S-H-E-R.
MosherClothing.com.
Yeah, you got to go to there. You'll find a list of thrash t-shirts, especially for Exodus. So choose anyone, any size you want. There is a contact form. Fill in the size and your address. In 5 days, it's going to be in your address.
Nice. I'm doing that today. I totally appreciate that.
As
a fan, I appreciate that.
This is especially from my friend who's been an Exodus fan, and he told me, look, dude, you're going to talk to Zetro, and we all are fan of Zetro, so let's make sure we give him as a gift from this part of the world.
Nice. Well, you tell your friend I appreciate him being a fan for years, and like, keep following it, because we're not going to give up, and we're going to deliver. I'm going to give them what they want always. Happiness in their fucking face. You tell them I appreciate that. I really do. I'm going to hit them up today.
Yep, that's really great. MosherClothings.com, and you can put in the address and the size, and it'll be in your doorsteps as soon as possible.
Nice.
All right, Zed, thanks once again.